Welcome to the Hymancast, a podcast of the Hyman Settlement School, where we explore the history, culture, and people that make the Hyman Settlement School what it is today, and how this historic institution will continue to serve its mission of celebrating heritage and changing lives in Central Appalachia. I'm Corey Terry.
And I'm Jordan Collins.
And welcome to episode number 13 of the Hymancast. And we've got a good episode lined up for you today, Jordan. What you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Got a lot of good things to talk about. Been talking about a lot of good things.
Yeah. So it is officially spring here in Eastern Kentucky, and as I have been doing all morning long, is plowing the garden up here at the Settlement School, getting things planted, and that's what we're going to talk about today is the farming season coming up with some Knott County farmers. Rebecka and Travis Fugate are joining us on the podcast today. Travis and Rebecka, welcome.
Hey, guys.
You.
How's everything going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. We appreciate y'all coming on today to the podcast and looking forward to the conversation. As we always like to do, we like to get the origin story. And I don't know if we ever clarified this. Are we related somehow?
I don't know.
'Cause I'm a Fugate.
Right.
Not a Fugate, but I'm a Terry. But my grandmother was a Fugate. But
Well, we grew up
right over the hill from each other.
over the hill, down the creek.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
You were up the creek about a mile and a half.
Yeah. So I don't know if we ever clarified that. I guess not. But what I always do is I say, "Are you related to Jerry at the variety store?"
No.
No. Okay. Then I guess we're not related.
Oh, I think we did have that conversation once, actually.
No,
Now
yeah.
that you said it.
I feel like there's 100 people in different states who are like, who's Jerry?
Jerry
Why
at
is
the
he
Gary
related?
Variety Store. Stop in and see him sometime.
It's related to everyone.
Yes.
I mean, he's the connector
Yeah.
for the Smiths and Fugates.
I still dream about shopping in the Cary variety store, the green store.
Green store. That's
Yeah.
what I called it.
Every day after school, we'd stop in the variety store. I'd go in, get me some snacks, and go on to the house.
My
Yeah.
family owned a store for the longest time, and it was the best because I'd get free M&Ms and Hershey bars, and I was a little fat kid. It was great.
Me too. Anyway, what I was leading into with that is your origin story. So we want to talk about
The origin story.
your all's growing up down in Eagle's Nest and all that good stuff, school times. Yeah, fill us in.
Okay.
Whoever wants to go first.
Okay. I'll start off. As you mentioned, we grew up in Emelina on Eagle's Nest. And,
Formerly known as Short Branch.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, was it actually? There was something else it was called, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that's still, a lot of people still call it Short Branch. So,
I don't know why they changed the name.
Maybe they saw an eagle nesting at some point, and they were like, "This is Eagle's Nest now."
When in the last 20 years has an eagle been here, Corey?
And they're at the lake all the time.
there was one
that
on
lake.
Eagle's Nest.
Sure.
Last summer, I saw one while I was at my house. So,
Wow.
Well, looky there, I've been proven wrong for
Yeah.
everyone to hear.
yeah.
I love it.
So I went to Emelina Elementary and
Emily the Eagles.
Emelina Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works
Must
out.
be all kinds of eagles down that way or something. At some point in time.
Leslie County Eagles.
Practically Alaska.
Yeah. I went to grade school there, and I wanted to stay in my hometown, so I got a college degree through an online university so that I could do that. And later on, I met Eric, and we had 3 wild boys. And so now I'm a full-time mom and farmer as well.
So you're very busy.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I would say the full-time mom parts is enough as it
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
It is, especially right now doing the virtual learning with all 3 of the kids. It seems like I spend most of my time doing that instead of farming, so have
Yeah.
to try to fit it all in.
Trying to make all the computers work and all that jazz.
Right.
I know all about that. Having to make
Yeah.
20-something computers work.
Yeah.
I've never been happier to not be a parent. Because I also don't have to be a teacher.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
He does, though, have to listen to me complain about it
See,
on a daily basis.
That's the same relationship me and Corey have.
Yeah.
He's like, my house is a mess. There's stuff everywhere. And
Oh, that's my life.
I'm like, I have a cat, and he's great.
Yeah, so I grew up with my sister. I started 3 years before her down on Short Branch.
Yeah, I was going to ask, who's the older one? I didn't know.
Yeah, a lot of people mistake it because my sister is so much more mature than me. But yeah, I grew up going to our local elementary school and got to high school and wasn't very popular. So I just quit. I wouldn't suggest it. Life got harder after that. So I joined the military and then got injured in the military. I lost my vision. Then I moved away from here, went to school out west. And my sister and I started talking, while I was gone. We talked a lot on the phone about starting a restaurant together and how fun that would be to try to do like a local sourced restaurant. And so, yeah, that's my backstory and kind of how I got from little me to farmer me.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into your story in the Army more so. But I was going to ask, while y'all were growing up, did you all farm or live on a farm or do any of that sort of thing then? Or?
Not really. I do remember a garden next to my grandma's house. There was a little field there, but it wasn't much.
There were gardens all around, but we were still, kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would hear my uncle's truck coming, so I would hide because he would be coming to round up kids to go weed the garden. And, weeding the garden, isn't quite the fun that choosing seeds and planting seeds. And
that's the fun part.
Yeah, and all that, and harvesting. So
that's what I like about spring is like, oh, it's so majestic. You get to plant and just watch it and just wait for the growth.
yeah,
And then reality sets in and the weeds start coming. And then you're like, why did I do this?
My favorite part's just eating it. So
Jordan did help me
After
plant kale the
harvest.
other day. Or yesterday. That was yesterday, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Time's
Corey.
flying. Yeah,
Fresh slate
I grew
every
up
day.
on a farm, sort of. I guess we called it the farm. We always had goats and a large garden, but I never did do anything with it growing up. So I think it's interesting that we're all farmers now.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't do this growing up, but
I
we did it
remember
later in
I
life.
remember playing in it and admiring things about it. I remember running through the corn and getting all cut up and
Yeah.
by the corn
Yeah.
stalks.
I didn't know that would happen until I started growing corn, and I was like, this is the most painful cut I've ever had in my life.
And now we know the real reason Corey doesn't grow corn.
I want to grow some corn.
It'll
I
slice you up.
suggested
I'm
it.
just going to wear gloves when I harvest
I
it.
suggested it, and you told me no.
Well, that was a different mindset at that point, but
3 weeks ago.
yeah, things are changing always in my head. You got me thrown off track. Yeah, so I think it's great that there's young farmers just kind of popping up and like not any experience really from our backgrounds, but
Yeah, same
yeah,
here.
figuring it out.
Mhm.
It was a huge part of our culture. I think having the gardens around. I'm sure you remember, sister, our granny sending us out to the garden to pick a tomato
Yeah.
for supper or some cucumbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the season was over, we would go out there and dig up the leftover turnips and throw them at each other, me and my boy cousins, and those sorts of things.
That was probably my favorite part is I didn't grow a garden, and my nuclear family didn't grow a garden, but I had uncles that surrounded us, and they grew gardens and grew tomatoes, cucumbers, so I'd go up hiking, have a little stopover point, get food, and head on up. It's my favorite part.
Yeah, we lived on a holler that like most people do around here, where our whole family essentially lived. Our granny kind of lived, right at the mouth of the holler, and she was, the matriarch. Everyone stop in after work, see her, see what's for dinner, see what the garden's growing.
All of the kids got off the bus at her house, and our dads were coal miners, so she would feed us after school.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I remember getting off the bus and be like, "Oh, I smell something. Wonder what's cooking." And my older cousin would be like, "Chicken, chicken, chicken every day. Chicken, you know it's chicken."
Soup beans,
Soup
beans and
beans.
cornbread.
I grew up living on like chicken tenders and pizza rolls. So.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like going to the garden and picking out a cucumber or something was just anathema to me. So
I mean, in my own household, it
I just used a Greek word on you from
not
my
that
Greek
word.
studies.
was. Oh, hit me with it again.
Anathema.
Oh, look at Corey, big brain, Corey, everybody.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Travis, at what point did you go or enlist in the Army, and was that taking place? I read a little bit of your story. I guess you presented before Congress at some point.
Yeah,
I read your thing there.
yeah. When I was 20, I was going across the creek here at the community college, and one of my buddies, a new friend I had made that semester, came in and he's like, "I joined the National Guard yesterday." I was like, "What?" And then I was like, "I've always wanted to join the military. You should have told me. We could have did the buddy system or something like that." But anyway, I decided I was going to do it too. We both enlisted into the Kentucky National Guard as heavy equipment operators. So I had this big dream of going off and learning how to drive dozers and helping rebuild a country, and then coming home, and driving graders or dozers and making what my family would call the big bucks. And then, 16 months into my enlistment, I was in Iraq doing military police work, kind of pointing guns, and a whole different path than I had wanted to be on. But luckily, everything changed. I got blown up by a roadside bomb, took my vision, sort of gave me a brain injury, kind of terrified my whole family and friends. But after, a couple years of recovery, I found so much support from Americans. They were creating organizations that were trying to help disabled soldiers and help them get on their feet. Got connected with the Blinded Veterans Association and got to meet a lot of older blind veterans, like from the Vietnam and Korean War era, and they inspired me a lot, seeing how successful they had been in their lives as a blind person. Of course, all I knew about blindness was that I couldn't play basketball good anymore, so I'm not sure where my value is, because that's so important to us around here as young boys, it seems. But yeah, I was 20 years old, got injured after 16 months.
This would have been like 2003. Is that what I read, or was
2005?
2005.
Okay, 2005.
Yeah, I enlisted officially in 2003.
Oh, okay.
Started basic training in 2004, got injured in 2005, and then I sort of recovered and moved away from here in 2009. And that's when I got my guide dog and started going to college. And I got up with the BVA got up with me, Blinded Veterans Association, and they, the VA kind of dropped the ball on a surgery and caused me to lose the remainder of my vision. So a lot of people thought, including myself. And they had me do like a congressional testimony because they were just trying to highlight some of the inadequacies in the medical system. And I was terrified. Yeah, I was terrified doing that.
Yeah.
But I was proud too. The things that are hard to do are often the things you can be most proud of in the end.
Yeah, I actually watched some of that testimony. We like to do a little bit of research before we do any of our podcasts, and it was a really moving situation. It was just
Oh, there was a video?
Yeah,
I just read the thing. I found the transcript of it, I guess. But
Corey, I was on C-SPAN.
Oh yeah,
C-SPAN.
C-SPAN.
I mean, you've been on C-SPAN apparently. You've been on CBS, right? You've been all over the place. And now you're on the Hyman cast, so I mean, this is probably like the pinnacle.
Eat it, Carson Daly.
At what point were you like, I guess, recovered and sort of moving forward, and how did that play out for you?
Yeah, 2009, I had lost all my vision, went through a rehabilitation program where they taught me how to be, blind, totally blind. And to be honest, I was afraid to come back to the mountains because, there isn't really public transportation and things. I had a hard time imagining a pathway for a blind Travis, So got this scholarship through a great program called Sentinels of Freedom, and they sort of helped me design a career pathway. And they moved me out to California, hooked me up with some great mentors that kind of helped me get enrolled in school and all that. It was tough being out there by myself, but I had my guide dog and a lot of support.
What's your dog's name?
His name was Mr. Fess.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and he was popular. When I was on campus, I would often say that, that black dog that runs around, I'm his buddy.
I like that. Where'd you go to school at?
California State University.
Oh, cool.
Studied software engineering. It's kind of a secret dream of mine. When I was a kid growing up, it's kind of like wanting to be an actor. You just don't tell anyone because it seems so far out.
Yeah, I wanted to build spaceships.
Right. I remember doing a project in high school, and they were like, do your career path. And I was like, software engineer, that was my thing, but I'm not doing that.
And
too much.
Fortunately, I had a lot of good support, a lot of good guidance, and got through there. I ended up, I didn't graduate because I got a job and started, got into that. And it didn't take long for me to realize, I feel kind of disconnected from people behind a desk, listening to my computer chat back at me. And at this point, my sister and I was doing a lot of chatting over the phone about my nephews growing up and about, what the future could hold. And you remember that, right, Beck? Talking about trying to open a restaurant or something?
Yeah, we would stay on the phone for hours at a time and just talk about the possibilities and what we wanted.
And I was becoming kind of very frustrated, really, because I had such wonderful access to food out there in Salinas Valley, right outside of Central California.
They grow oranges and everything out there.
He would always tell me about what he was having for dinner and all the markets that he would go to get the fresh produce. And
their farmers markets were like the gingerbread festival.
Right.
And people playing music on the streets. They shut down like the main street.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. And I heard about Bon Appetit Appalachia. And it was this big list of restaurants through the Appalachian Mountains that were trying to serve locally sourced meals. And that in my head, I was like, those places are getting close to the heart of Appalachia, where I'm from. And maybe I need to go home and see what I can do to support that movement. I think that's what got me here, back home. And I got here in 2015. I probably arrived mentally about 6 months ago.
I don't think I'm here yet. So
during that all of the time that we were talking on the phone and stuff, my oldest son, he was diagnosed with a heart condition, and you know, he was probably a toddler then, starting to eat real food, and his doctors had recommended that we try to limit his processed food intake, and that really, I think, brought up the talks that we had about the access to food. You know, I wanted a way to be able to provide him with produce, because there's no way that I could afford to go to these stores and get fresh produce all year long.
Because like down here at the IGA, it's like a bag of grapes is like $8. It's like
it was impossible.
We spent a lot of our life eating, Kraft mac and cheese and all that delicious stuff, even before they came up with the good flavors. Back when it was just cheese. But I remember my sister like getting real serious about it, and she was like trying to make her own homemade baby foods and things.
Yeah.
And, she was really concerned, and also starting to think about what our diet had become.
I'd imagine that was probably a challenge with the baby foods, because I see, that's not an aisle I need to visit very much, but
right.
It's.
I mean, I keep reading reports of like even the organic baby foods.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, these are toxic.
Yeah.
There's like all kinds of toxic things in them. So
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was terrified. But that really led into my canning as well. So when the doctors recommended that, I started purchasing like patio containers to grow stuff in, and I had some strawberries, and decided to make a freezer jam. So that was the first thing I made, and I realized quickly that people don't have much freezer space, so I had to look at alternative methods to preserving food for the winter and stuff.
So my next question was going to be how what led you to begin your farm? So I guess we're already transitioning into that.
Oh, sorry.
And
no, that's
so,
fine. We usually have a real hard transition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
the question. So that was.
Yeah. So I'm just like, how? I guess at what point did the farm, or I guess you're starting your farming journey on your patio? It sounds like.
Yes, I started at home growing things, and Travis and I talking, and then once he moved home, I'll let you tell more about that. Travis.
When I moved home, we realized real quick that a locally sourced restaurant, a locally food sourced restaurant in our town here in Hyman wasn't feasible, and in order to make something like that work, there was going to have to be a lot more local growers who wanted to add their food to a market. So, like a software engineer does, they break it down to the smallest component, and I realized we need to just start planting seeds and learn how to grow food in abundance, so that when the next person comes and is ready to start something like that, maybe we'll be ready to help support it.
Mm-hmm. It's like taking the computer and going and mining the gold to put in the computer before even getting started.
Yes.
It's if we're gonna go to the it's blank slate every moment of every day.
I didn't know where you were starting off with. I would have helped you finish that out, but I was like, I don't know where you're going with this.
Don't let it die. Push it under.
See, that's where Corey needed to come in with a Greek word.
Yeah, just say something, confuse people, and then we're on to the next thing.
One word that expresses a paragraph.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of one. It's been a while since I've studied Greek. The one that I like to say is kradzo.
Kradzo?
Kradzo.
Oh, look at you.
It means to cry out.
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
That's Italian.
Greek. That was a rough year of my life. But I liked it more than Hebrew. I didn't finish Hebrew, by the way. It was terrible. Gosh, Jordan, you keep throwing me off. I'm like, I have questions in my mind, and then you say something, and I'm just like,
Now you know what it's like living inside my head.
yeah. So the farming journey is where we're at. You all ended up purchasing a farm, not in Knott County. It's over in Letcher County. It crosses the line, right?
Yeah, we did a lot of scouting, a lot of trying to find space. And here,
It's hard to find.
oh
Yes.
yeah, we're just hollers and creeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Here
and they
in
flood.
and they flood. So yeah, here it's hard to find usable land. We found some over towards Pikeville, but we didn't really know people over that way. Then we found something over in Letcher County, and it ended up being the closest one that made the most sense. We passed it up in December and then bought it in like March, I think.
Right. Yeah, and
Because we really wanted something in Knott County. But we did dedicate ourselves to supporting the Knott County Farmers Market,
yeah,
because we felt like we put a lot of, heart into that. My sister, were you like officially the market manager for us?
yeah. In 2016, I got a AmeriCorps position to be the farmers market manager, and around that time, we were looking for the land, and then Grow Appalachia was starting up, so it was perfect timing, really, for us to get that connection.
Yeah. Had I not been brain dead when I was beginning this, I would have mentioned that aspect. That you were once a former employee at the Hyman Settlement School as an AmeriCorps member, as I was at that moment.
You were
AmeriCorps. I think I was AmeriCorps at that point, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Okay. Can't remember.
I think it really helped speed us up and give us a vision toward what we could potentially do. Seeing the farmers market growing and seeing other people who were also interested in growing the farmers market. So yeah, without the farmers market and Grow Appalachia and the extension office,
yeah,
Chad up there.
Chad's great.
Yeah, without the Soil Conservation Service over in Letcher County, we wouldn't have what we have. It's this whole farming thing for us has been a community project, in that we committed early on to creating community connections and trying to find what people needed and wanted, and that led us to all the resources and grant money, free money to help us get a high tunnel. I mean, we got a $15,000 high tunnel. I mean, that's a lot of money to drop at once. And that was just through making a couple of these connections and having people just, oh, by the way, there's this thing available. Are you interested? Right, sister?
yeah.
And you all just got a second high tunnel I saw on Facebook,
Yes.
and I was very jealous.
On Monday.
And what are your plans for that high tunnel?
Well, Travis, I think this morning posted on our page asking people what they thought that we should grow, and I haven't
I thought that was on my page. Oops.
Oh, well, it could have been. I don't know. Either way. I hope to grow some berries in there. I think fruit is one thing our market lacks, and I would love to provide some
Please
sweet
give us strawberries.
Blackberries, strawberries, blueberries.
I'm thinking more blackberries and black raspberries.
Oh.
I think those would be great. And, especially for when kids come to the market, I would love to be able to let them have some berries.
Or
Yes.
Jordan.
Or Jordan.
There
I
we
might
go.
give you a handful.
Yes.
We could probably hook you up with a cute little basket to carry around. Put 'em
Yeah.
I'll carry it around if I get the blackberries out of
in.
it.
Yeah, nice experience.
But we'll also use it for the produce that we know well and that we can sell well at the market, like our beans. I think that's probably one of
Greasy beans.
the greasy beans and the fall beans. Last year the fall beans I just couldn't grow enough of
Yeah,
them.
people come to the farmer's market and they don't want anything else
Right.
except them fall beans.
Yes.
Oh, you got White hat fronters, nah.
Yeah, nope, they don't want half-runners. Some people still
Yeah.
do, but
As young farmers, we're always learning lessons.
I remember
Yeah.
a funny story when I first started selling beans, canned beans. I made a label and just used,
Spent a lot of time making the beautiful labels.
yeah, trying to figure it out. And I just wrote green beans and pretty much got laughed at because they're like,
what kind of beans
yeah,
are it? What kind
what
of
do you
green
mean
beans are
green
they, Becky?
beans? What do you mean green beans? You know, and
I'm going to write that down. Don't do that.
yes, don't do that. You have to tell what it is. So now,
Learn from your mistakes.
yeah. So now we have fall beans and greasy beans and
Non-tough.
So I really don't
White
even know
half
what a
runners.
fall bean is. I see them. I don't really know what
Right.
it is. Tell us what a fall bean
a
is.
fall bean.
Yes.
So it is a. Some people call them October beans. They're a brown bean. That's
They're not green.
what.
They're not green.
Well, they are green, but the bean is brown.
Oh.
I think what it comes
Yeah.
from is that you kind of plant them late and they arrive in the fall.
That was my
and
understanding.
there's different
I've read about them, but
types of fall beans.
Right.
specific
the
types.
beans that I saw, they're like huge. Aren't
Yes, they are.
They? Are they so much bigger? Is it just the variety?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's nothing really. It's just a different variety.
yeah, I think so.
Okay,
We have
that
a
are
fall-
grown in the fall.
We have
Yeah.
a fall bean that
Okay.
is it's really pretty green. This is what I'm told. It's really pretty green and has really pretty white tips, and it's pretty huge.
Yeah.
The more you know.
I'm pretty dedicated to the rattlesnake bean.
Oh yeah. I
Those
get
are big ones
asked.
too, right?
I get asked if I grow those quite a bit, but I never have. I just don't have space for them because we grow so many other types that
Yeah.
I just don't have space for them. And I know that usually someone else grows them, so I don't worry about them.
I'm gonna try to grow a lot. So.
Are you? Okay.
I like them a lot. They're really tasty.
Yeah.
They're a good bean, and they're very prolific. Like I had like a little 10-foot row next to my house last year, and I've fed so many meals to my family off of that.
Oh, that's awesome.
that
Yeah.
year, so
Yeah, it doesn't always take a whole lot of planting.
no,
Hopefully, in the future, when we have our processes down, we'd like to be able to demonstrate and show people, how easy it can be to grow a small number of plants to sustain your family or maybe make a couple extra bucks even,
yeah.
if you have the time to put work into it.
Yeah, I mean, I got some seeds last year from the seed shower actually. So I'm gonna try to work on growing some melons on my porch. We'll see how well that goes. Probably.
I bought some melon seeds this year as well. So
Oh, I'm not gonna compete.
yeah. Oh no. I know nothing about them. I need to be looking into that, but
So we
Yeah.
get our knowledge typically from a lot of the old timers around. Farmers market was huge. The old timers really reminded us of how it has been done for eons, especially here in the mountains. And we watch a lot of YouTube videos.
I've been looking up on Google when I should plant the melons. Apparently, Corey told me. Was it 2 weeks after the frost?
No, that's what you read, and I said you'll be fine to post it.
Yeah, that's
To go
right.
ahead and plant it.
And I'm like, I don't know. Google says otherwise.
right.
So now I'm planting them 2 days after the frost. That's my concession.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Just know that a big part of farming is failing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
That's true.
You got to be cool with failures, and we've lost whole crops or whole half of crops.
I think it's pretty much a given every year. You're going to lose something.
Oh yeah.
Something's going to fail.
I mean,
miserably.
don't get me wrong. I'm used to failing miserably.
But knowledge gained, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, not hardly. But
Yeah, I've lost up to 100 tomato plants at one time.
Gosh.
We lost
Yes.
strawberries too. We lost
Strawberries.
We planted 1,000 strawberries,
Oh, gosh.
and yeah, I'm just crying now. And I think we got 10 gallons, if that.
Yeah.
I don't know what we did wrong.
Yeah, I planted tomatoes and peppers, transplanted them outside last year. About this time, we got a big hard frost.
Yeah.
I went and tried to cover them all, but then it still didn't work. I
Right.
got some of them saved, but
I think our idea, what gives us hope, I think, is that if we just keep doing it, we'll get good enough at it, and we'll be able to contribute to a young CSA here or there.
don't start that off your first year like I did. That was
Right.
a terrible decision.
Remember what
Let's
was
have
the
a 40-person CSA the first year you've ever farmed. Great idea.
what was the broccoli? It was just like little bitty. I forgot what you called it, but it was not what that was. It was just little broccoli.
I don't remember.
I can't remember what it was, but
Broccolatini.
yeah, it was it's like heirloom broccoli or something. Just,
No, I don't think that was the one calling it that.
we won't say names, but you know who you are.
It is easy to get in over your head, and we've done it on multiple seasons.
Yeah.
And you just got to write it off as knowledge gained. Sometimes you got to give your crop to nature.
Yeah, just let it. I'm wondering when I'm gonna be getting the crop back, but who's to say?
Jordan's going to grow a tomato plant on his porch.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah, probably. I'm gonna get it
I mean,
today.
yeah. The tomato. I'm giving my tomato plant an extra one that I had from the greenhouse. It's already about this tall.
I encourage it. I think any porch here in the mountains should have at least like one, cherry tomato plant growing up at
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
some kind of grape tomato or cherry tomato.
Yeah.
These are full size tomatoes, aren't they?
No, they're cherry.
Oh, even better. Even better.
I don't know whether you're getting sunrise bumblebee or purple bumblebee.
Oh,
So
I
you
like
get
both
one-
of those.
Yeah.
I like both of them.
Just give me some.
pretty.
Corey.
I don't like tomatoes. I just like them if they're pretty. That's all I care about.
I like the little ones because they, they look pretty apparently, but they also feel very unique and distinct.
Yeah.
Like the bumblebee ones, it really feels like a bumblebee's butt. It's that shape,
Right.
and it tickles me. And the kids love them.
Yeah. Well, hopefully at the market, I'm going to have some what I call pea sized tomatoes. A friend of mine gave me the seed, and I brought some to the market last year, and everyone seemed to like them. So
My
I'm
kids
going
especially liked them, or Chloe did anyway.
right. So I'll have those plants, a couple extra of those at the market already in a patio container. So
We are talking about pea-sized tomatoes.
Oh,
Yes.
I think I
Little
tried
tiny
them.
babies.
Did you have them
Pop
last
in your
year?
mouth.
yeah,
Yeah, I tried them. They're just like little,
yeah, tiny. They're perfect for salads.
it's like a Tic Tac almost.
Yes, and for kids. Kids love them. So,
They're too cute for some people to eat.
yeah.
I think Liz wanted them. She wasn't at the farmer's market, but she saw you pictures posted of them. She's like,
Yeah.
bring me those. And she just wanted to take pictures of them and eat them. But
Right.
yeah, she was like, these are so cute. I'll take pictures of them.
And I could say just about everything we grow, you can grow your own plant from the seed. So
Yeah.
most of it's heirloom
Yeah.
varieties.
Yeah. Stuff that we've got from other people at the market, or I've ordered a couple things, but
Sister can pretty much tell you the last name of the family that most of her beans come from.
yeah.
That's cool.
I try to keep up with it, and I love,
The story is important to us.
yeah.
So you all save seeds every year.
Yeah.
I wish I did that more.
Yeah. It's
It's hard at the end of the season because you're
Yeah.
already worked out, you're burned out,
Yeah.
farm's dying, and
I just want a
the
break.
last thing you want to do is go out there and collect dead green
Yeah.
beans.
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know there were some plants that you could. I just assumed you could get seeds from all the plants.
Oh, you got a lot to learn. Jordan.
Good thing I'm not the farmer around here.
Yeah.
So what are y'all going to be growing this year? What's your all's farm plans for the 2021 growing season?
Well, as of right now, we have peas coming up. Hopefully, those will be ready by when the market opens.
I'm calling them late peas because we planted them late.
Late peas, autumn peas.
You didn't get them out by February 14th.
No.
It was frozen and snowing.
Yeah.
I
And
think
a winter storm.
I think everyone planted a little late this year. So.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the concept of planting on Valentine's Day. It just doesn't seem like a good day to do it to me, but
Yeah.
people swear by it.
They do.
Hey,
I don't
plant
think
a seed of hope when your heart's breaking.
That's true.
I don't think that I've ever planted them in February. It's always been
I think
March.
I have before, but then like I plant one in March, some in March, and they'll come up like the same time.
Right.
The ones, so.
Yeah, my dad said the same thing. So
Yeah.
We also trying carrots again.
yeah. Beets. I really want to grow some beets, but
One thing a lot of people around here has asked my sister for is pickled beets, because she does a lot of pickled things. Yeah, people want pickled beets.
yeah.
I might like that better than a normal beet
You know,
because beets are just rough.
we tried. I don't know if you went that time, but me, Jason, and Josh, I know for sure. Los Matus made pickled beets.
I remember she gave us pickles of some sort that one. I think there might have been
There were beets in that mix.
maybe, and I probably was like, nah.
I
usually don't eat beets. I do like pickled beets if they're baby beets, really young.
I mean,
Might help.
I probably wouldn't go for it again, but it was an interesting experience. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
It was like they're kind of like sweet, but also got like dirty, like a dirty taste.
Earthy
Yeah.
taste.
Earthy, yeah,
Yes.
Dirty is probably an offensive word to use
Yes.
to describe beets, but
You dirty little beet. My experience with beets is seeing a big jar of nasty looking pickled beets in my granny's closet.
wait, in the closet.
Yeah, no one ever wanted them.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was sentimental to them or something, but yeah, they were just nasty.
These are my granddad's beets, and one day they'll be your beets.
It was like just a big pickle jar, right?
I have to see what happened to those. It was
Yeah.
like a big giant.
Pickle jar, yeah.
Did you guys drink out of a lot of reused glass jars growing up?
Oh, I do right now.
Yeah, so that's basically all I have, is mason jars and stuff that we drink out of.
I hated it when I was a kid. If you could see where the label had been scratched off, you know, it's like, that's not a glass of water.
Oh, I don't even scratch the label off. There's no use to
I don't
that.
either.
Just
I don't not so much anymore, but when I was a kid, it was like, that's not right.
Yeah, I remember you like just refusing to drink out of it.
I was a picky little boy. I wouldn't
Yeah.
even drink after my mom or dad or my sister, and they were always offended by it. Like, no, not that I'm better than you. I'm just very picky. I drink after my friends at school.
my girlfriend's like that. She won't drink after anybody in her family.
She knows how nasty they are.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I was about to say she wouldn't drink after me, so that's fair.
So you got carrots growing. And you got, I guess have y'all started planting beans yet?
No, getting ready to.
Okay, I was going to think, like, I actually did plant some the other day, but it's like, I'll try to get some out here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Could be a little early. Might get a little frosty at some point, but that should be okay, I think.
Yeah, I had where we planted the peas, we tilled the dirt, and some of the bean seeds from last year was still in the ground, and they sprouted. But that frost the other day really took them out. So
Did it? Cool.
yeah,
So how are y'all working the soil inside the high tunnels? Are you just using like a walk behind tiller or
a tractor,
a tractor?
small
Oh, okay.
tractor.
So you can get a tractor in there.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
We squeeze it right in the door.
Yeah, I
there.
guess you all got those big sliding doors.
Yes.
Mine, I can barely get the walk behind in, which I don't need to walk behind in there.
God, look what's happening.
It's hydroponic.
Corey's gonna have to get a big garage door for his high tunnel now, so I can get the tractor in there.
I like using my walk behind stuff. So
I couldn't imagine doing it without a tractor. So especially with two high tunnels, that would be a lot.
yeah. I don't know why, but I was just having this conversation with Nathan earlier, and he's like, "Why don't you go get that tractor and till this up?" And I was out there with that little rotary plow and the walk behind.
Yeah.
I worked for almost 2 hours, and I'm not even halfway done. I might be halfway done now.
What? Oh,
No, down in Frogtown.
oh, yeah. Are you? Is it down at Bob and Gail's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. I think sometimes you just have to do something the way you've always done it.
Yeah.
Seen it done. My dad dumped some gravel the other day and has the tractor and all these tools, yet they stood out there and raked gravel in my driveway all day. It's just what they've done all their lives.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta have something to do, you know.
Yeah. I like that. Sometimes I just like the more peaceful route. Like for some
Yeah.
reason, like the walk behind seems more peaceful to me than a big tractor.
Yeah.
It's definitely closer to the earth. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I'd rather just use a hand tool to do something sometimes. But
I had a fantasy originally that I would train a bull and plow my own garden. So as a blind farmer. And yeah, I thought that could be a good illustration. Do you draw, Jordan?
Oh, I'll do it. I'll get started animation right now. No, but it just seems like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Just having a bull loose.
I'd be hooked to a plow, and I'd be standing on the back, you know, guiding it some direction.
Love it. I love it.
Towards the sun.
So, what kind of products are you going to be canning, and what's your focus this year? If you bought one of the holiday gift boxes from us this past year, you received some product from Good for Your Heart Farms, grown by you all. So, what are y'all going to do? Largely the same stuff, or different things this year? Or?
I think a lot of the same things. I'm going to try to get a couple more recipes approved. I'd like to have some marinara sauce at the market. I think that would.
So you're going to make that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we were planning on doing something like that too.
Oh,
See,
But if you're going to make it, we'll just let you take care of that, and we'll buy it from you.
You've just opened up
We'll
the
talk
pizza
about it.
business, though.
Yeah.
Because Corey makes a fine bread.
Oh, yes.
Pizza dough.
Yeah.
It's interesting the way you create and define your products. You got to submit your up to 5 recipes a year or something, or 5 is what we can afford maybe.
Yeah, it's you have to pay for each recipe, and I don't want to have too many and get overwhelmed. I try to see what's popular and what people want and go from there. And most of the stuff I sell, you know, people always want the same thing. They really never ask for anything different other than the pickled beets that I don't have yet. So
Every season we'll try to poke at something new that, you know, people have been asking about or whatever.
yeah.
Now, I think I put 2 and 2 together. So Good for Your Heart Farms. Is
Yes.
that by chance after your son?
Yes.
Boom. Look at that.
Yep. That's it. That's
Big brain.
that for me.
Big brain.
That would be my story.
Right.
For that. And he's proud of it too. He loves to tell people that. So,
Nice.
yeah.
I was thinking about it, and I'm like, we heard this information. The slate didn't get wiped clean that time, so it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was good.
I'm glad you made that connection because I didn't realize.
Yeah, I didn't know the farm name.
Good for
So
Your
it
Heart
was-
Farms.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, would you say that you've seen I don't know what the condition is, but has that been like beneficial, like, and seen like health outcomes from that in his life?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just learning about and providing ourselves with some fresh food alternatives has been good. Yeah, I mean, we eat plenty that isn't good for our hearts.
Right.
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 I mean, we're not going to, you know, always exclude fat back from the soup beans or whatever, right?
Right.
And although we do experiment with other stuff, using coconut oil in the soup beans. Yeah,
I think,
sounds bad, but it isn't.
I think
great.
some people would absolutely crucify you for what you just said.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
said.
they would.
Yeah.
But
I
what's
use
fun is
coconut
when
oil
they
and
eat it.
avocado oil for
Yeah.
everything. So.
You use avocado oil?
Mhm.
I've
And
not.
coconut,
Yeah.
depending on what I'm cooking, I guess. But
Yeah.
more so avocado.
I don't think I've ever used it.
I haven't. No.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be a heart healthy option. I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
what they tell me.
That's what it says.
I just hear things. Like, don't get that vegetable oil stuff.
What's happened is Corey's been walking through the supermarket. It's like, avocado oil? This is my new life now.
I don't even like avocados.
What's happening? What's happening up there? But it's, yeah.
There's a lot of options out there, and it's hard to be in a supermarket.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes, it's nice being able to have some of your own things, and it makes your decision making easier.
Yeah, it's paradox of choice, right? You want to see all the different varieties and options, but really you just want to.
It gets overwhelming. You're just like, I just need some simplicity in my life.
Yeah, you just want a tomato or a cucumber that you've grown. I mean,
Yeah, I last week used my last 2 jars of tomato juice from the previous year canning, so I'm stressed out, ready to get some more because I don't want to buy it, out of a grocery store.
She's got the starts already for
Yeah.
the tomatoes out there.
They're ready to go. It's just,
Do you ever plant you plant tomatoes in the high tunnels, don't you? I
Yeah.
saw that on the videos earlier.
yeah,
And
Last year planted way too many.
yeah.
And do you juice your tomatoes? Do you make tomato juice? I mean,
Yeah,
like
I
to
make-
sell? 'Cause I
Last
would be
year-
interested in that.
Yeah, last year I had a pretty big order for an individual that I done, and then made some for ourselves, so I didn't get extra to sell.
Okay.
But I hope to have some to sell.
Nice. Because I will be there every farmer's market to get some tomato juice.
Now,
Yeah.
There's something special.
Yeah,
about
I
fresh
usually
tomato juice.
I usually make tomato juice, diced tomatoes, whole tomatoes, and then the marinara and the salsa. So I use so many tomatoes. I think last year I couldn't get enough tomatoes. I ended up buying some from the settlement school, several cases.
Yeah, we'll buy them from our friends to
Yeah.
help can our personal stock,
Yeah.
and then sell the stuff we grew. But that's who we
That's-
are. We
yeah.
give away the good stuff a lot of times, or
Yeah.
sell it. Not give it away.
Pretty much give it away.
So y'all were doing y'all had like a little restaurant thing going on, didn't you? Are y'all still doing that this year? Or?
No,
Okay.
I ran the Car Creek Marina. I had it leased and had a restaurant out of there, and I really loved it. It was such a happy place, and I love serving people my food. But when COVID, everything, I was just so scared to get back out in the community that I decided not to do it. But I did love that, and a lot of people are messaging me wondering why I'm not doing it. It's just I really want to farm full time and make more out of that.
You don't live on the farm, Travis?
No.
You live out there, don't you? Or do you live
Yes.
down? Okay.
There's usually people around.
Yeah,
Do you have any intentions on
I would
heading
love
that
to.
way, or
I would love to. I would go tomorrow. I don't know if Travis wants me there with him, but I would love to build a house on one of those slopes over there. It would be great.
how many acres do y'all have over there?
31.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
It's pretty.
How much of
pretty
it's
size.
tillable?
A lot of it's tillable. Yeah. I don't know. I would guess 15 or more.
Yeah.
Like there's 2 big bottoms along the creek. 3 actually. 2
Yeah.
big ones, 1 smaller, and then halfway the hill, you go up the hill a little bit, and then it plateaus back out, and there's a lot of growing space there that's a little more slanted. That's where we have our berry fields and the high tunnels, and my dad's been trying to cut the hay, and he seems to be really into that. That's one of the things that I've enjoyed a lot. My dad's a retired coal miner, and being able to create an environment where even as a pretty disabled retiree, he can get out there and really get his work on.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's always, if we're going to put something, he's like, is that going to be on my hay?
Yeah, I think he was a little upset about my kids riding their dirt bikes in the hayfield. I think it stressed him out just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I bet it did.
Yeah.
So do your kids like to get out there and work, do things too, or
No,
no? Okay.
they like to ride their dirt bikes and play with the dogs, and they do help feed the animals. They like helping Travis feed the animals most days.
The dinky donks.
The dinky donks. Yeah.
And that came from Maddox.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
This boy, yeah.
Yeah.
When we got him, we were walking out, and he just calls them. He's like, "Sup, dinky donks." And I was like, wow, is it just this kid's natural way to call something a name? But it was really cute.
I love that. You just came up with that. You just
Yeah.
Jordan's new name, according to my 5-year-old, is
God.
Georgian.
Georgia.
Georgia.
That's
Georgia.
cute.
It's mostly because every time I come around, Corey's like, "That's George." That's
Oh.
Georgia.
That's what she started calling you, and then I reinforced it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
constantly. It's like
She also thought you were my brother for a long time.
we're brothers. We're broskies, Corey.
I got a brother named Jordan, so she
Yeah.
gets confused.
That's right. Easy to do.
I wish my boys would be more involved. They do help. You know, some days I'll say, guys, I really need help planting this, and they will help. But
I think we get more out of them than you might expect. You know,
Yeah.
they're 11 and under, and if we've created the right environment and get them before they get their eyes deep into the phone,
yeah,
once it seems like once a kid gets focused in their phone or on their game, it's a battle you might not want to.
yeah,
Engaging.
yeah. Sometimes Papa helps by offering a couple bucks, so that motivates them to want to help.
Yeah, I'll do just about anything for money.
I'll do
Yeah.
anything for money.
I got some manure over there that needs moved from one place to the next.
How much money?
I love having the nephews over there doing it. It really pleases me when they're showing friends the animals, and I enjoy taking them into the high tunnel. They'll tell me what they're seeing, and I think that's super interesting.
And Maddox helped you edit some videos last year a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's always talked about wanting to be a YouTuber, you know.
Mhm.
So I let him help me film and edit a couple videos just to kind of show him what the process was like, and that it's not too complicated for him. And I think he got a big thrill out of it. And it was my most watched video. So there you go.
Oh, let's get a YouTube plug while we're talking
Yeah.
about it. What's your channel?
Well, those I was posting on my personal YouTube.
Mhm.
But we do most of our social media through the business Facebook page, Good for Your Heart Farms, with an S, even though we only have one so far.
Goals.
It's ambition.
ambitious.
I feel like that's just what people do.
Right. Yeah.
Leaves room to grow.
Yes.
Never close the door.
Yeah. And I'll be sure to link to those Facebook pages and YouTube channels on the show notes.
Yeah,
So
get
you
it.
can find
Subscribe
it
to
there.
the farm page, and hopefully later in the season we're gonna unleash our Good for Your Heart Farms YouTube channel. We've been trying to work on.
See there?
Yeah, so
Just-
hopefully it'll be cool.
Sweet.
Just dug out a gym right there.
Yeah. You did. All right. I
I play in the rough.
was going to ask
A
you another
what?
question.
Play in the rough.
Oh,
Oh, it's a diamond in the rough. Never mind.
Do you all have any plans to raise animals other than the dinky donks? And I know you got some chicken for eggs and stuff like that, but
We have 2 goats,
oh, you got goats. Okay.
and we're working on getting some cattle.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
Sweet.
exciting. I'm excited about that. It's just a lot of clearing brush, a lot of work that needs to be done.
A lot of
Yeah.
fencing. You
Yes.
know,
Are the goats helping with that?
when I was a kid, our uncle
No.
had cows, and we would always get called out to go try to chase cows. So it's kind of an undertaking, and we want to make sure we got a good fence, good
Yeah.
fencing to take care of the cows and the neighbors, and
Yeah.
but yeah, right now our animals are mostly just for enjoyment. Enjoy. I mean, it's so fun to hug a miniature donkey.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
I bet.
Yeah.
Jordan has a dream now.
I'm
We
thinking
need to
about
go
it.
visit their farm, Jordan. Hug the
Yeah.
dinky donk.
For sure.
I'll show you that manure pile.
Hey, like I said, I'll do anything for money.
All right, y'all. I thank you all for coming on to the podcast today, and look forward to seeing you all at the Knott County Farmers Market this year, and hope that it's a great season. Hope we have a good year. No terrible weather, no coronavirus lockdowns, and
Yeah.
all that stuff again, which I think it was okay last year in terms of selling produce. It probably actually increased
Yeah.
everything, actually. So.
It did for me.
We got to
Yeah.
focus on the farm a little more. So that
Yeah.
was maybe a good
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
great.
mean,
Silver lining. There's always something good come out of the chaos.
we should. I can't wait to just run it wide open this year because we're vaccinated. We're invincible.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm hearing we got to get booster shots now, so I don't know.
Huh?
That's what I heard.
Why for?
I don't know. I feel like you just see things like that sometimes, and then it never comes up again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It's like-
I wouldn't worry about it.
I don't know. All right. That's it for today. Thank you all for coming on.
Nice chatting,
Thank
guys.
you.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. And that is episode number 13 of the Hyman Cast. We want to thank Rebecca and Travis for coming on the podcast with us. It was a great conversation. I'm looking forward to the farming season.
Yeah, it's a real interesting conversation. I hope I get to see some dinky donks before
Some
long.
dinky donks, yeah. We watched some videos. We heard them in the background doing their dinky donk sounds. It was fun.
I told Corey he needed to get that GoPro and get out there in the field. Give
Yeah.
me some videos.
Get me some GoPro. I got the
Bitches.
GoPro, attach it to my head, just walk around all over the place. I'm
Yeah.
just going to have a constant GoPro in my head now, I think.
It's like you're a security camera, but a person too.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Catch all the antics at the office.
Yeah, well, we hope you all enjoyed the conversation. And as always, we want to go through some announcements with you for the things coming up here at the Settlement School. And we got people on campus right now, and it's pretty exciting. We had breakfast this morning, and we're going to have lunch today.
I think that's what we're most excited about.
Yeah,
It
that's
sounds
what I'm
like.
excited about. I don't have any participation in what's happening, but it's the Hyman Dulcimer homecoming is going on right now
Sarah
here
Kate's
at the
been busy
Settlement
with
School. Yeah, and I am enjoying the fruit of the kitchen as they feed them. So
that. Yeah, we had biscuits and gravy this morning, so
Yeah,
can't
pork
complain
chop.
about that.
it's good. Anyway, announcements. So our next class for the Makery will begin on May 3rd, and that's coming up here soon. And it's Intro to Writing Speculative Fiction with Ashley Blooms. And you can register for that at hyman.org/the Makery.
It's / Corey.
/the Makery.
What are you? This is America.
I don't know. Just say a slash.
It's fine. Whichever direction it ends up for you. We are also collaborating with the Appalachian Artisan Center to put together an art show we are calling Common Threads. This intergenerational gallery show will feature pieces handcrafted by 6th through 12th grade students enrolled in our virtual embroidery and knitting and crocheting class. Golly, these just get worse and worse
We're
each
just
time.
struggling.
There's an ampersand and a written out and here. Classes as well as work from local and regional fiber artists. Common Threads is on display at the Appalachian Artisan Center from April 30th through May 22nd.
And our next Pick and Bow variety show will be broadcast live on the Hyman Settlement School's Facebook page at 5 p.m. on April 28th. So for the past 12 weeks, students from Knott and surrounding counties have been learning how to play the fiddle, banjo, mandolin, and guitar, dulcimer, and the ukulele, which I have learned a few chords on myself.
Yeah,
I
Chloe's
learned how to play the one song that I know how to play on guitar on the ukulele.
playing that. I don't know what she's playing, but she's doing a thing.
She's
ain't
doing
she?
ukulele.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. Jordan came over to the house yesterday, and she was there doing her pick and bow lesson.
Tacos.
Yeah, I gave Jordan a taco. Come cheer them on and help them celebrate everything that they have accomplished this semester in the Pick and Bow program. And as always, we want to recognize our donors from the past week who have contributed to something here at the Hyman Settlement School. So first we want to recognize the Jonathan Dayton chapter of the National Society of the Daughters for the American Revolution, who donated $303 to the settlement school. And we also want to recognize Miss Rita Cochran, who donated and has also bought several things from our Shopify, our web store. I know this because I ship those out. So yeah, you can also buy some things from our store at hyman.org/shop.
That's a forward slash.
Forward slash. Well, I don't know. Just a slash.
forward
Just
slash.
put the slash.
Not the backslash. That won't work. And Ruth Hawkins has also supported the school and gives me a nice little segue into the Imagination Library, which she supported. So you can decide to support a kid for $3 per month, and that provides a book in their home. Or you can spend $30 to provide one book per month for one child for 1 year. Or if you want to go all in, and for the entire program, you can put in $150 to provide a full library of 60 books to one child for 5 years. And Imagination Library's main goal is to make sure that each kid has a library of books in their homes. So it's a nice program to be a part of.
Yeah, I'm going to sign my little girl up.
Yeah,
The third one.
You thought you already did.
Yeah, I thought I already did, but apparently never followed through with it. I remember starting to fill it out, but I guess I didn't finish it.
Now's the opportunity.
Yeah. I know the first book you get, or we did this before a few years back with our other ones. You got the little engine that could.
Yeah, that's
the first book we got. That was a good book.
Seems to be the flagship of the
Flagship book. That was a good one. All right. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we thank you for tuning in to the Hymancast. And my name is Corey Terry.
And I'm Jordan Collins.
And we'll see you soon.
The Hymancast is brought to you by the faithful and generous supporters of the Hyman Settlement School. For over 100 years, we've been celebrating heritage and changing lives in Central Appalachia. If you're interested in supporting the work of Hyman Settlement School, you can go to our website at www.hyman.org, or you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the handle @HymanSchool.